Well,
Jesus Christ, I just looked to my left and there's a famous person next to me.
Here he is, you lucky people.
Well,
Colin Quinn,
Norton
everyone.
I wanted to come in last night.
yeah.
I should play the message for you. I left it on my machine, but it's basically, come in at 7 o'clock. Make sure you get there right at 7 because, we got a busy show tomorrow. I go, oh, who's on?
Right.
New Orleans, maybe it's Oprah, I mean, who knows? Ron and Fez are coming in, and we might get a call from Samuel Jackson and Eugene Levy.
That's right. That's
I'll
a big
make sure
show.
I'm quick and get out, Jim. You son of a bitch.
Listen, man, I just wanted you to
Shut
have
your
the
face.
proper amount of attention and fun in this program.
Do you sleep upside down?
Oh, jeez. Why, because of my hair?
Yeah, do you sleep like a bat? What happened up there?
As Jim put it on Tough Crowd one time, shut up, 20 years too old for your haircut.
It just looks extra wild today, that's
I
all.
know.
He's just walking the streets of New York and decided to drop in.
I just turned to my left to set up a bit, and there's Colin Quinn sitting down at a mic.
Let me in on the bit. Can I play a character? I can do impressions.
We've seen.
Well,
I love that one.
It's actually just a promo that Steve made for little Jimmy Norton, your pal over there. It's called, what is it called? Drill Diva.
Oh, Drill Diva.
We have these series of bits called Diva, because we're all divas. What was mine?
You were a No, I was Bagel Diva.
No, he was Bagel Diva. Was I?
Milk Diva.
I was Milk Diva.
He had a problem with his milk one morning and just went off like a lunatic about it.
Well, my blood sugar dropped.
Oh.
And then
everybody
Steve
says that when
puts
they go
him-
off.
I know.
I know. It's
Blood
so
sugar
true.
thing. Stop it. It is not.
My blood sugar's dropping. And I needed milk really bad, and then one of the guys got it from a drugstore, because that's where you get milk these days.
So you got it from the Dwayne Reed, where
Powdered
you
milk?
go for milk.
Yeah, when did that start?
It's just like Dairy Barn.
Well, we can play... All right, why don't we start with Milk Diva? What the hell? We got it here. And then we'll play the new one from Norton called Drill Diva. But first, Milk Diva.
Steve, SOS, I need milk immediately.
Coming soon to the Opie and Anthony Show, Milk Diva World Tour. Featuring all your favorite Milk Diva hits. Live in concert.
My blood sugar level is dropping as I speak.
Featuring the classic There's a Deli Downstairs.
There's a deli right downstairs, is there not? Who the F gets milk from Dwayne Reed?
And who could forget the #1 smash hit, I'll Suck Milk Out of a
I'll
Cow.
suck milk out of a cow. I don't care. I just need milk.
Plus special guests, the Milk Divettes.
I walk into the studio and he goes, "Where's my milk? Why are you going to Dwayne Reed for the milk?"
And for the first time in over a decade, you don't bring me milk anymore.
And then I'm noticing there is no milk around, so I'm like, I will pass out.
You sound like a madman.
I know I'm whining.
The Milk Diva. Coming soon to the Opie and Anthony Show.
Opie wants milk. He only takes it from CVS or Rite Aid. Who would go to Dwayne Reed for milk knowing how desperate I am right now? You get condoms and maybe some shampoo from Dwayne Reed. You don't get milk from Dwayne Reed.
See, there you go, Colin. It's a cute little thing we do from time to time.
Well, you didn't seem that upset.
Well, God, I hadn't heard that in a while. Wow, we are just whiny messes.
No, my blood sugar really dropped that day, and I needed food badly. I had cereal, and I needed the milk. We do
Not
have...
from Dwayne Reed.
What other divas do we have for Colin here? We have Potato Diva, Coffee Diva. Which one do you want to hear?
I think Milk Diva is particularly effective in light of the Hurricane Katrina.
Why?
Hurricane. Oh, wow, that hurt. Wow.
Well, because, people are suffering and can't have water, and you were complaining about the milk from Dwayne Reed.
Complaining that your milk wasn't bought from the right place and you aren't getting it in time. Meanwhile, there's the suffering going on.
I understand that, but that's something that's like 3 or 4 months old now. I didn't know there was going to be a devastating hurricane when I went off that day, 4 months later. You want to hear Bagel Diva?
That one was mine.
You want to hear Bagel Diva there, Colin?
Sure I do.
All right.
I was very upset.
In a starchy world, mired in imperfection.
What the hell is that? It's a bagel, but for some reason at this place they put it like on the grill.
One man
It's all about me.
will challenge the status quo.
They don't have a toaster? That annoys me.
Navigating treacherous terrain.
There's crap all over it. Like I'm seeing grease,
Confronting the unknown.
and there's something green on it, which could be a pepper or a booger. It's awful.
With a platoon of interns.
You sheep?
And military precision.
Go! Fix it!
The world will witness a revolution.
Bagel Diva.
Coming soon
Come on.
to a bakery near you.
Are you kidding?
See, that's not that bad, right?
I just wanted a bagel that was in a toaster without gook on it. that asking too much? Am I a diva for that?
Colin?
Fine.
What do you think?
What he'll do is he'll take clips of something like a subject like that and actually piece together. We don't actually rehearse that stuff.
Oh, I see. That sounds like Big Ben up to some hot producing.
The montage.
What about Jimmy's diva thing? I'm sure that's 20 of those.
We have my favorite one is actually Coffee Diva.
What is this?
All right, what's the problem?
Oh, boy.
What's the problem? What's the problem?
The Emperor is not happy with his coffee.
Oh, no. Are we going to have to break into
Jim Norton. Coffee Diva.
Look at that cup. What brand is on that cup?
I don't know,
It doesn't taste good. I don't like it.
where do we get our coffee every day?
I like Starbucks.
I like Starbucks.
And I don't like supporting the savages that run most of these delis.
You're insane.
Yup.
You betcha. You might be right.
Yeah.
What is this?
You want to taste this?
Wow, that's really nice.
What?
Throw it against the wall.
I'm not
Diva.
I'm a diva.
I want Starbucks coffee.
You betcha.
Jim Norton. Coffee Diva.
I know Starbucks is a big world order type of thing.
At least they're not funding terrorism.
Yeah, he doesn't like the coffee from the savages at the deli.
Yes.
And
I actually do a quick check, and if you have foreskin, you can't make my coffee.
Oh,
Wow.
Unclipped boys only.
What about Coffee Apple Diva?
I mean clipped.
Oh.
I mean clipped.
Wow, is that against protocol?
I'm just throwing out ideas.
You have no idea what that's
I'm
going to
just
do to Jimmy.
brainstorming.
He just drops Jimmy's apple into his coffee.
That actually isn't that bad.
No.
Apple Coffee Diva.
Still drink that.
So we have a brand new one.
Jimmy.
Featuring Jimmy again, yes.
Oh, you could have 20 if you go to the Comedy Cellar every night. He comes out off stage. I swear you would think Lenny Bruce was about to be arrested. This crunch, political correct. I hate these people. Idiots. Why? Because they didn't laugh for 12 minutes on your elongated 50-cent story?
Listen, hey, that's a very fun story.
50... Now, because his foot is hurt, he's got a stool for a 12-minute set at the Cellar.
Oh, you
think
sit down
are
there?
stool
He thinks he's
comic guy now?
he's Bill Cosby. He sits up there and he's like, I collect autographs, something you show. He does like a 5-minute intro. It's really annoying.
Here's what I do.
And he thinks he connects with the crowd like he's smiling like, and he just looks at them with that horrible face. It's like, come on. You're not charming.
I am charming.
You're really not. People are,
Give a little smile. The crowd loves me.
you drain the mercy out of them for your sake, and I have to go on and suffer.
And you're sitting down now, Jimmy?
I have to.
Jimmy's the sit-down comic
I
guy.
injured my foot, and I told the seller that I need a stool.
A
It's like a tour de force.
One was provided.
One-man show.
Yeah.
As he's sitting there.
And he still does the same phony one-man show thing. In comedy, whoever's the headliner on a road gig, you go, how about a hand for the MC and the other act?
Sure.
Well, this conceited ass, in the middle of the show, if there's 5 comics, if he's third on, he'll go, how about a hand for the MC and your other acts? But he doesn't say it like ironically. He says it like sincerely. So
Like
I'm
he's the headliner.
And like there's nobody on after him. Not only is it inconsiderate, I've told him 20 times stop doing it. He won't stop.
I won't stop. I like doing it. It's a courtesy.
It's not a courtesy.
I'm a good guy, and I feel that.
It's the height of pomposity.
It's not. Usually it's a colored boy who's hosting the show, and I like to say, how about a hand for that fella?
Well,
Working
nothing
hard.
wrong with that. Keith is, he does a heck of a job.
I like the fact that you're sitting down now. That's very comfortable.
That
Keith
certainly
wears
is.
white gloves on stage when he MCs, Keith does.
White gloves. Like an old-timey butler.
All right, well, we have the brand new
Can I see
Diva
toilet
promo from Martini Steve.
Have
A little
your
setup
shot
here.
for that.
It's Jimmy's birthday.
Oh, today?
Yes.
Oh, Jim, you didn't tell me. I would have
And,
a little something.
And listeners have been bringing, sending in, I guess, gifts.
Yeah.
And they sent Jimmy a drill.
Oh.
Guy sent me just a.
Because I guess you were talking
cheap,
about a drill
awful.
on the show or something.
One time I had gotten drill bits for my birthday.
Yeah.
Nothing else, just drill bits. And I'm like, what
Right.
is this? So somebody sent me a drill.
But it was a
Perfect.
It was a big, bulky cord drill.
It was
And
not
are these
acceptable.
cookies a gift?
That's
from
a gift
Steve's
from
wife.
Mrs. Steve.
So they're not urine laced?
Not to me,
No,
actually.
you can have one of those if you like. They're
I'm
good.
afraid nobody's had one.
So Norton
We'll
didn't
split
like this particular drill that
Oh.
was mailed to him because it's one of those plugins, like Anthony said, and he just kind of went off that day. And Steve took the audio and turned it into Drill Diva. Do I got it here?
In a fancy world
Sorry for all the background noise. I just been opening a box. I got another gift.
where status is everything.
Thanks, Andy from Seattle. He He sent me a used drill.
One man.
I'm an entertainer.
A fancy man.
Do you understand? There's a fancy entertainer talking.
Will begin a quest for the ultimate gift.
Fuck you.
The Drill Diva.
Anybody have anything lighter, like maybe a fucking bowling ball with 2 lead shoes?
When a regular gift is out of reach.
How about just some pictures of vaginas and some pornography?
Right.
And the gift he gets is unacceptable.
For your needs, you should have a cordless drill in your house.
Well, come on, what do you want?
I want a new drill.
Dude, you don't appreciate shit.
I want a cordless fancy drill, boy.
The Drill Diva took my breath away, says Eric Nagel.
Think about how I feel, hoping I have a new cordless gift and seeing that cumbersome cord.
And Ben from Boston raves, wahahaha, dude.
You want me plugging a cord in like you have to?
You've never seen a spoiled brat hissy fit like this.
You don't deserve to sit there.
Shut your dumb Italian mouth. I'm talking, boy.
The Drill Diva, coming soon.
Jimmy, you're a cock.
Fuck you and fuck your mother. What do you think of them apples?
Jeez, that's a little harsh, Jimmy.
I think that, listeners, I appreciate your thoughts, but your thoughts are good kept as thoughts. If you're going to send me, there's a new thing now. It's a $50 gift minimum.
Right.
If you're going to send me a gift, it's got to be a gift. It's not a garage sale. I don't want your shit.
Not horrible. I got this out of my dad's old toolbox item.
That's right, and the receipt has to come with it in case I don't like your gift.
You take it back.
I bring it back and I get the money.
Shipping it probably costs more than the gift.
That's a good point, Kyle. It's a good point.
But you're right, Italians shouldn't talk.
So there you go. The Diva promos continue.
Yeah.
That's the latest one from
I like
Martini
it.
Steve. You like it, Colin?
I'm going to start recording Jim. Too bad he's going out of town for a couple of weeks.
Well, we don't know when he's leaving.
Very busy, man.
He was
Jimmy
supposed
Norton.
to leave by now, and now are you leaving next Wednesday?
I'm leaving Wednesday. And
Wednesday?
Are you doing Wednesday show?
I think so.
He doesn't know he has no power on this show. Don't you understand that?
Oh.
They call him and say, bitch, get back in your seat. You're not... Oh, but I changed my ticket at Continental. Too bad.
No, you don't understand. When the ticket just changes. You know how it is in first
Would you
class.
make Louis C.K. come in and go on at 7 o'clock?
Louis C.K. can come and go as he pleases. That's the way it goes around here.
By the way, can I pump my big Stress Factory weekend?
Of course you can, Colin.
Apparently, ticket sales are bleak. I'm on Friday and Saturday at New Brunswick with Vinny Brandt.
And his prank call.
Yeah. Maybe that's it, Vinny. Hey, Vinny, maybe it's a prank call. Calling up people telling their kids were murdered in a drunk driving accident might keep some of the older crowd away.
You really got to explain that to the rest of the country.
Vinny goes on.
He's a very
yeah.
funny guy, but at the end of his set, he likes to do his prank call.
And the prank call is funny, but he's been doing it for so long now, he's like jaded, he's shock-proof. So
Yeah.
call people up, hey, your daughter's been arrested. And people are like, ha, and the guy's having a heart attack. It's like, your son was killed in a 3-car accident.
God. He does this in front of the comedy audience there. The live audience.
Your mother's in New Orleans. You know, he doesn't care anymore.
That's so true. He's really taking it to the next level.
He has taken it to the next level.
What do you think about the whole New Orleans thing? How the government reacted to it, Colin?
I mean, I just thought it was a shame. Like they said, if they were white, they would have rescued them faster. But if they were white, they wouldn't have shot at the medevac helicopters. So, I mean, it's kind of a touch-and-go situation either way.
Yeah, that did seem a little odd.
Yo.
People are shooting at the people that are there to help.
Exactly.
It was just a few bad apples.
A few bad apples.
Bad apples? Is that what we're...
Just a few bad
Yeah,
apples.
well, you know how people are when they're scared. People get scared and they do silly things.
Yeah. Yo, Tremaine, light him up. SOS, motherfucker.
You took advantage of the situation at hand.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't looting. It was getting supplies.
Oh, boy.
Food. They needed food, maybe some clothing. Apparently they found the Tech 9. Apparently they found in one of the shelters. They found a huge bag full of jewelry with the price tags on it, and no one seems to be claiming it. That was in the news yesterday.
That's my ice. Nobody gonna touch it.
Well, you need that. You know, there's a whole. Once the government breaks down, there's a whole different monetary system, which includes, I think, sneakers and shirts, TVs, and jewelry.
I know. I was telling
Like
Keith,
cigarettes in the joint.
I told Keith, I said, I thought black people couldn't swim. You guys are like Olympic champions with those 3 DVD players on your back.
Wow.
Wowie.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, I've never seen people in the project could jumpstart $1 million speedboat like that. Grew up in Newport.
Everything in this country now, it doesn't matter what it is, has to be divided down racial lines.
That's correct.
It doesn't matter that the hurricane hit in an impoverished area, and that's why many of the people were black. A lot of people would have you believe that it was some wacky weather machine, government weather machine, that was attacking black people.
CIA.
Right, mofo.
I tried to offer, I actually gave money, and I also I offered my home, and they sent it back.
Really?
I like somebody to live in my home because I put it on the bottom. They said you can't put "must be hot" on the bottom. So if they don't want to compromise,
why can't you pick and choose who you want living in your house?
There's a lot of hotties. Mississippi, a lot of those little girls running around. Help them out.
As long as they're young, because the second they hit 20, they gain 500 pounds.
Yeah, but I put them on my dental, and that's the most important thing.
Did you guys hear or watch Keith Olbermann last night and his rant?
Who is he?
He's on MSNBC, right?
He's that dummy that used to run SportsCenter?
Yeah, he used to do, exactly. He was on ESPN. And
I know the name, but I don't know him.
And now he does serious talk.
He's supposed to be a Stitch, but I've never seen him.
Actually, his show is pretty entertaining.
Yeah?
So what did he say last night?
Well, last night he just absolutely went off and just started ranting. And
angry about...
pretty much blaming Bush.
Oh, yeah, Bush was really responsible for the whole thing.
Where was the help, Carl? Ugh. Where was the help 4 days later? 5 days we need to get troops in there and with food and water for our brethren?
Yes, that's true, but, let's face it is kind of hard to be enthusiastic about going in when people are taking pot shots at the medevacs.
Well, they weren't taking pot shots until the medevac got there.
Oh.
See, what maybe if they had arrived sooner... the people wouldn't be so rambunctious.
That's a good point. But I'd like to blame everybody except Bush. But he certainly, the guy was on vacation. He left a few days early.
All right, now you're making sense.
And I heard Condoleezza Rice was so distraught she didn't enjoy the second half of Spamalot.
Yeah, that was not a good photo op for her that day.
There's a photo of her coming out of Spamalot.
As New Orleans is falling down and
people are dying.
And then she's shoe shopping.
Right. Life goes on.
You gotta
Even
move
Conway said he was shopping first.
Well, why don't we listen to some of this Keith Olbermann audio here.
Also on this point, this is not typically a newscast of commentary. I can recall only twice previously offering such perspectives, but something that Homeland Security Secretary Chertoff said at his news conference Saturday made this necessary.
Louisiana is a city that is largely underwater.
It's a country.
Well, there's your problem right there. If ever a slip of the tongue defined a government's response to a crisis, forget the history of slashed federal budgets for projects that might have saved the levees. Drop the imagery of the government watching Monty Python's Flying Circus while New Orleans drowned. Ignore the symbol of bureaucrats like Mr. Chertoff using only the future tense in terms of relief that they could have supplied last Monday and Tuesday. We no longer need the president sounding like he's on some sort of 5-day tape delay to summarize this debacle. We now have Mr. Chertoff's indelible announcement that Louisiana is a city. Politician after politician, Republican and Democrat alike, has paraded before us, unwilling or unable to shut off the I-me switch in their heads, condescendingly telling us about how moved they were or how devastated they were, congenitally incapable of telling the difference between the destruction of a city and the opening of a new supermarket somewhere. And as that sorry recital of self-absorption dragged on, I have resisted editorial comment. The focus needed to be on the efforts to save the stranded. Even television's meager powers were correctly devoted to telling the stories of the twin disasters, natural and government-made. But now, at last, it has stopped getting exponentially worse in Mississippi and Alabama and New Orleans and Louisiana, the state, not the city. And having given our leaders what we now know is the week or so they need to get their acts together, that period of editorial silence I mentioned should come to an end. No one is suggesting that mayors or governors in the afflicted areas nor the federal government should be able to stop hurricanes. Lord knows no one is suggesting that we should ever prioritize levee improvement for a below sea level city ahead of $454 million worth of trophy bridges for the politicians of Alaska. But nationally, these are leaders who won re-election last year largely by portraying their opponents as incapable of keeping this country safe.
Oh, my God.
These are leaders who regularly pressure the news media in this country to report the reopening of a school or a power station in Iraq, and which regularly defies its citizens not to stand up and cheer when something like that is accomplished. Yet they couldn't even keep one school or power station from being devastated by infrastructure collapse in New Orleans, even though the government had heard all the chatter from the scientists and city planners and hurricane centers. and some group whose purposes the government couldn't quite discern, a group called the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Most chillingly of all, this is the law and order and terror government. It promised protection, or at least amelioration, against all threats, conventional, radiological, or biological. It has just proved that it cannot save its citizens from a biological weapon called standing water. Mr. Bush has now twice insisted that, quote, we are not satisfied, unquote, with the response to the manifold tragedies along the Gulf Coast. I wonder which we he thinks he's speaking for on this point. Perhaps it's the administration, although we still don't know where some of them are.
God.
Anybody seen the vice president lately? The man whose message this time last year was, I'll protect you, the other guy might let you die? I don't know which we Mr. Bush meant. For many of this country's citizens, the mantra has been, as we were taught in social studies, it should always be, whether or not I voted for this president, he is still...
A minute? I can't take it anymore. This is the most uninteresting drivel I've ever heard being played. This isn't even shit you can comment on.
I wish you got raped at the Superdome.
Holy shit! Shut the fuck up!
He accuses politicians of being self-involved. And
here he is with
this babbling rant.
Not only that, but he's saying, oh, politicians, they watch their words so they don't get... Yeah, because people like you say Louisiana's a state, like that embodies the,
right.
You know.
Oh, my God, he just went on and on. I could not take it anymore.
There's a self-righteousness in the country. It's unbelievable, man. Everybody gets on there on their fucking soapbox.
Yeah.
It's really nauseating to me.
Well, that's what our job is, too, Colin.
No, it's not.
Hop up on a soapbox.
No, you're supposed to bust balls.
Bust balls. Who's this guy now? Wants to come? The guy obviously wasn't listening.
Let's say
not even a name. Hey, Florida, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Owen?
Hey, man.
What's up, bro?
Recent convert from Howard, so I hate that fucking douche now anyway, but...
I invented everything.
I invented everything, but first thing for Jimmy, Starbucks fucking sucks. During 9/11, they charged people $3 for a bottle of water.
No, they didn't.
Cruise. Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
And they won't send
water's good
coffee to the troops in Iraq because they don't support this war or anyone involved in it. They fucking suck.
Dude, I know what you're saying. I've heard some of those rumors, and they did donate a lot of money. And regardless of their policies, which are probably repulsive, I won't even disagree with the fact they're probably repulsive left-wing policies from Seattle. Their coffee is fantastious.
There you go.
And that's what I care about.
Dunkin' Donuts rules, buddy.
I don't mind Dunkin' Donuts. I really don't. But I get too much gas from the half and half they put in there. I prefer Starbucks.
Fella, I like the cut of your jib. Why don't you drive up to New Brunswick this weekend?
Colin Quinn at Stress Factory.
I'm in Florida with work, so I'm out of New York.
Take a drive. What's a big deal? 24 hours.
All right, go ahead. What do you have? You have a problem with Ann and his Bush bashing. That
liberal.
Not Bush bashing, but it's all coming out in the news right now that the governor of Louisiana, she never signed the evacuation order for the projects, even though she was urged like days before. It took her 4 days to officially sign an evacuation order from the inner cities in Louisiana, and she also never signed the evacuation orders for any of the old folks' homes down there.
I'm not bashing Bush. I'm not bashing Bush. I'm not bashing anybody. The fact of the matter is, people put too much confidence and faith in the government and the way it is, and think that they're supposed to swoop in before a disaster or avoid a disaster or avoid death and destruction. That's just not the case. The truth of the matter is, you got to take care of yourself in the times of disaster, and the government is there to clean up the mess afterwards. That's their job. It's very hard to predict what's going to happen, how bad something's going to be, and when something happens, it's your job to be smart enough to get the fuck out of the way of it, or resilient enough to live through it and move on with the government's help afterwards. It's very hard to point a finger and say people should have, could have, would have. That's my stand. I still think Bush is an asshole.
Black people are great swimmers with DVD strapped to their bags.
Very funny, Colin Quinn, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he'll be at the Stress Factory all weekend long. Colin
Quinn. Why don't you drive up, kid?
All right, bro. Thank you.
Likes the cut of your jib.
Let's see if Keith Olbermann makes a point here.
Yeah. All right.
Whether or not I voted for this president, he is still my president. I suspect anybody who had to give him that benefit of the doubt stopped doing so last week. I suspect also a lot of his supporters looking ahead to 2008 are wondering how they can distance themselves from the two words which will define his government, our government, New Orleans. For him, it is a shame in all senses of the word. A few changes of pronouns in there and he might not have looked so much like a 21st century Marie Antoinette. All that was needed was just a quick, I'm not satisfied with my government's response. Instead of hiding behind phrases like, no one could have foreseen, had he only remembered Churchill's quote from the 1930s. The responsibility of government for the public safety, Churchill said, is absolute and requires no mandate. It is, in fact, the prime object for which governments come into existence. In forgetting that, the current administration did not merely damage itself. It damaged our confidence in our ability to rely on whoever is in the White House. As we emphasized to you here all last week, the realities of the region are such that New Orleans is going to be largely uninhabitable for a lot longer than anybody is yet willing to recognize. Lord knows when the last body will be found or the last artifact of the levee break dug up. Could be next March, could be the year 2100. By then, in the muck and toxic mire of New Orleans, they may even find our government's credibility somewhere in the city of Louisiana.
Woo! Oh, that's really amazing.
How many times did he have that dramatic end and then just kept going? Like you thought it was over. And then he just kept going.
What was he trying to say there?
He's trying to say that, first of all, the government's really been oppressing the news, trying to get them to do all those stories about building schools and hospitals. Well, I haven't seen one in 5 years, so I guess they're not that scary and totalitarian stupid.
I haven't seen
one part. Because every time I just got back from Iraq and Afghanistan again, and I'm not saying that for praise, but I just got back, and then that's what their biggest complaint is, that they never see any positive stories. They're not saying hide the negative stuff, but there's no positive stories out of there, so what's he talking about?
No. Did you see anything positive when you were there?
I saw plenty of positivity.
Yeah?
Sure.
What's going on?
Well, it's interesting you say that. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's just,
Were you prepared for that question, Colin?
No, I wasn't.
I don't know. It's just like, what happened?
Yeah, tell us something.
I've seen a lot of positivity. I saw people giving the old thumbs up.
Oh, the thumbs up.
Hearty winks.
I like a hearty wink.
They were rebuilding roads. Then when somebody gets shot, like 2 soldiers got killed in Afghanistan when I was there building a road, and then the paper's like, oh, they were killed in a firefight. Come on. Say they were building a road, that's why they got killed. You know what I mean? That's one of the big complaints.
Does it really matter to the family?
Well, it matters to the family, yeah.
Yeah,
they don't want it to look like it's a crossfire attack where they're shooting at each other. If you're doing something good and you get blindsided, I would think it matters.
Oh, okay, I see your point now.
You know what I'm saying?
You're just trying to build a road, help the people out there, and they're shooting at you. Like New Orleans.
Who'd you go over there with, Mr. Big Shot?
Plenty of people.
Whose planes you fly on?
The Joint Chiefs of Staffs.
Wow.
Chairman.
You really did?
Hey.
Well, I did. Well, it was, usually I go on tour with this dummy. We end up on these crummy planes, sleeping in tents. This time I went there because Wayne Brady canceled. He had something come up, so they called me at the last minute.
Yeah?
That's the position I'm in.
They flew you in a nice plane this time?
I bet Wayne Brady could sell out the damn New Brunswick.
Oh, no, he couldn't.
Oh, you'd be surprised. My sister would see him. She thinks he's just the cat's meow.
Dreamy.
Richard Meyer's plane he got to go over on, which I think was cool. Was it nice?
Yes.
Did you stay in hotels?
A couple of times.
Ooh. Let's say hi to Eric in Colorado. Eric.
Hey, morning, boys.
Hey, man.
Hey, Anthony, I just want to make a comment here, and actually this goes to everybody. Everybody's been coming down hard because it took the feds 4 days to get in there, but there's a little federal law called the Posse Comitatus Act.
Hakuna Matata. Yeah.
Which prevents the federal government from stepping in unless they are specifically requested by the governor of a state.
Mm-hmm.
The law was enacted following the Civil War, and it's actually...
When did the governor ask for help, sir?
She never requested federal...
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Where did you get that information? She absolutely did.
Oh,
she was asking for help before the hurricane even hit.
But it does not require that. She has to declare a state of emergency.
Oh, is that it? It was a friggin' a little problem with words? Yeah. She didn't say, may I?
It's because of the way the law is written.
That is crap, sir.
No, that is not.
That is bullshit. So what you're saying... What you're saying is, if this country's invaded, if Al-Qaeda comes up through Mexico and invades Texas and kills the governor, that the federal government can't move troops into fucking Texas. Hey, shithead, I'm talking. Can't move troops into Texas because the governor didn't ask for it, right?
That is a different situation.
It is not.
That is an invasion by a foreign by a terrorist
subsidiary.
What if it's within? What if it's a militia group from the United States that then takes over a state?
If it occurs from within our borders or is a natural disaster under the Posse Comitatus Act.
It's Comitatus.
Governor of the state.
Comitatus.
If you mention that Lion King law one more time, sir, I'm going to smash your teeth with the phone.
It's Posse Comitatus.
Law. No, it's not Posse Comitatus.
All right,
they changed it.
No, it ain't.
Let's go to Coke Logic from Whackbag. Coke Logic.
Hey, what's going on? This is Coke Logic from Swollen Clit, Illinois.
All right.
Ooh.
Hey, Anthony, you kind of touched on exactly what I was calling about. If the president knew that, or thought the flooding was the result of like any sort of Al Qaeda activity, his ass would have been down here day one.
Yeah, you know what? It's just the government. It's the way it works. It's a very slow machine, sir. And even in a time of disaster, to think that they're going to swoop in with all their modern machinery and pull everyone out and have a happily ever after ending is bullshit. It's like anywhere else. The government is just people working at their jobs, just like the people that you're surrounded with on a daily basis in the office. Does shit get done immediately at your office? It doesn't at theirs either.
They're playing snooze. They're downloading porn.
It's exactly. And then when there's an emergency, you start going, holy shit, who do you turn to? There's not some guy in your office that comes forward and goes, I'm the go-to guy, and I see a problem, and I go... You got to go through meetings and talk to this one. What do you think we should do? It takes time.
You're saying even in the federal government, when you try to go to the go-to guy and go, look, these are the problems, and what should we do? You hear,
no, we're working on it, guys. We got a meeting after this.
He's outside yelling at somebody for having not Starbucks coffee.
Right.
Not having would have been funnier.
No, that's all right. Having not. Why not?
Why don't we take our first break? Here's the deal. Colin Quinn's in studio. He's playing the Stress Factory all this weekend.
Woohoo!
We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we got to get Ron and Fez. They're doing the show with us today because they're starting up on this channel Monday.
Bye, guys. It's been a pleasure.
You can hang.
Yeah, whoa.
Nonsense.
Easy.
If they're coming in, I gotta leave. I'm not gonna be crowding you guys in.
Easy.
I'm a gentleman.
You can do whatever you want.
Easy.
I don't want to crowd people. I'm just here to plug my gig and say hello to the crew.
732-545-HA-HA. What's that? That's the Stress Factory number.
Ooh, Jim, thanks. How'd you know that?
I've plugged it enough times, although I very rarely need to because it sells out immediately. 732-545-HA-HA.
The sad thing is he's not lying.
You can see Carl tomorrow and Saturday night. Who are you performing with?
Ali Breen and Vinnie Brandt.
Oh, that's a heck of a lineup. It's going to be a good show.
Should be a heck of a show.
All right, so Colin might be around because he always says he's leaving and then he stays anyway.
Then he just takes tea and dumps it on his little coffee cakes. It's creepy.
This I can guarantee. Ron and Fez will join the party next. We got Brian Regan coming in today at 9. We have Scott Farrell calling in to say hi, an old friend, at 8 a.m. We have Eugene Levy calling in today. Samuel L. Jackson calling in today. And much
Brian
more.
Regan's a heroin dealer.
Hey, that's a good hour. Hit it.